Our presenter today is Kevin Tennyson. Kevin has been with Cisco for over 6 years. Originally part of the Cisco sales organization, he recently joined the collaboration team to drive adoption of our new Webex Teams application. When Kevin is not driving adoption, he enjoys spending time with his family. His passions include golf and football, and he hates long flights. Kevin, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Daniel, and thank you everybody for joining us today. As Daniel said, we'll cover how to host powerful meetings with your personal meeting room today. And as we get started, I just want to cover the agenda with you here. So today we'll discuss what a personal meeting room is and describe, the type of meetings you can have with a personal meeting room. From there, we'll go to the Webex site where we'll show you how to set up your preferences for personal meeting rooms, scheduling standard sessions, or scheduling and starting sessions, customizing your PMR, and inviting people to your PMR. From there, we'll move over to Outlook, where we'll show you how to install. So we'll cover downloading the new Webex Meetings app. We'll show you scheduling and starting sessions from Outlook as well. Then we'll move on to the new app, and we'll do a quick walkthrough for you. And then we'll also cover scheduling and starting sessions there. And then there are a few changes that are coming. You may see them already on your Webex site. You may not see them, but we'll cover some of the new changes as far as leaving a session, and that includes passing along host privileges to someone else if they're going to continue the meeting, locking your meeting so people can't come in and out of your PMR, and starting PMR sessions from the phone directly. All right. So to get started, to describe a personal meeting room, your personal meeting room is your own virtual conference space. Your personal meeting room will always be in the same place, meaning it will always have the same URL, it will always have the same video address, and it also will always have the same calling number, so that information will never change. It makes it easy if you have continuous meetings that you meet with the same people, or if you just want to do something really quickly, want to jump into your personal meeting room, it's always there for you. Participants can join these sessions using video systems, room devices, or desktop devices, and they can also join if they're on Webex. A virtual meeting room or lobby where people wait to join a personal meeting room ahead of time, you can have the ability to lock those spaces so people can't join in whenever they want, or you can leave it unlocked if you just want it to be an open room. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the website. So I'll go ahead and share here. All right, so jumping into the website, normally the site will be your company name.webex.com. I'm a part of our Ace Cloud Webex site. And so when you come to the site, first thing you want to do is log in. And this is the new classic view, or I'm sorry, the new modern view for Webex. And there is a classic view some of you may be more familiar with. In order to go through the preferences, I'm actually going to go back to the classic view. And so this may be the view that you're more familiar with. And to set up preferences, what you want to do when you're here is click on the My Webex tab at the top of the page. And once you're in your My Webex, we can go to Preferences on the left-hand side. And first we'll cover the Meet Now settings. So if you do want all of your instant meetings to be in your personal room, then you want to check this box here, and that'll allow you when you come to the site or use any of your calendar integration or the new Webex Teams app or Webex Meetings app, you can click this box here and any of your instant meetings will use your personal meeting room. Once you've checked this box, you can come down to the bottom and save it. You also have the option of creating a password for these sessions. So if you want a password, you can enter it into these boxes here. And then if you want to display the audio information, you can check these boxes here and that'll display that for you. Next, moving on, we'll check our personal room settings. So here, your personal room settings, it'll give you your personal room name. You also have your URL for your personal room. You have your video address for your personal room here, and then your host PIN. So remember the host PIN, because later when we talk about starting sessions directly from the phone, we'll cover that PIN. You also have the ability to lock your room at a certain number of minutes after the meeting starts. So if you click this box, you can choose the time period that you want. So after 5 minutes, you can lock the room after 10, 15, and 20. And that's going to make it so after your meeting starts, people can't just join into your personal room. You also can get notification emails. So if someone's waiting in your lobby and you haven't started the session yet, you'll get an email letting you know that someone's in your personal room. Also, you have the ability to add alternate hosts. So if you want to allow other people to host your personal meeting room, you can enter their email address here. And if you have multiple people, you just want to separate them with commas or semicolons and give them that capability. And also to save your information, you would go down to the bottom and click Save, and that will take care of that. And then going into scheduling sessions from your personal meeting room, there are a couple ways here through the site. So if you click on Meeting Center, and I click this option here, that's going to start a personal meeting room and just get the meeting going right away. So I won't do that now. I'll end up showing it towards the end, but it'll just open up the window and get your meeting going for you right away. You also have the ability to go to Meet Now here. So within the list under Host Meeting, if you click Meet Now, since we set up those settings to use our personal meeting room from any of our instant sessions, the Meet Now button will also do the same thing for you. So if you come into your site and you just want to get a quick meeting started, you can go right into Meeting Center, click Meet Now, and it'll open up that meeting window for you as well. You also have the ability to customize your personal meeting room. So once we're in the Meeting Center tab, we also have the ability to click this option here for our personal meeting room. Here, you have the ability to change your picture. So if you click on Change, you can change the picture that you have here. There's also some other options you have. So you can change the desk by clicking on the desk. You also can change your coffee cup. And I keep the big cup here because I drink a lot of coffee in the morning. You also have the ability to add pictures. So if you click on the little arrow here to the left, it will give you the ability to change the picture in the background, so you can upload different options so that you can add a little bit more customization. Then over to the right side here, these are recent personal rooms that you've joined. So here are some of my colleagues here that I've worked with recently and joined in their personal room. Also from here, you have the ability to invite participants to a session before you get started. So if I wanted to invite someone prior to joining into my personal meeting room, I can add someone here. You just add their email address. Once you put their email address in, the invite button will pop up, so that'll give you the ability to send it to them. And then once you join into a session, that person will already have the invite, so they can just jump right into the session with you. From a meeting, I'll also show you that. So now, since we've gone through the ways to start it, I'll go ahead and start a session so you can get a view of it. So this is my personal meeting room here, and this is what it will look like when you join in. You'll get a pop-up to choose the audio that you want to join in with, and there's some different options here with Call Me, I will call in, call using computer, call my video system if you have an endpoint, and these will depend on your settings here, what options you have. And then to invite someone from within a session, you'll click on the Invite tab, enter their email address here, their phone number. If you have text messaging, you can do that, IM, and there's reminders. Usually I just use the email, put in their email address here, then hit send, and they'll get an email with the information to join into the session with you.
And Kevin, just to briefly interrupt you, we can't see that gray window currently because it's not your browser.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Let me share the full screen. So just to cover that again, I'll go back to start a meeting. And then apologies about that, but here's your meeting screen. And here's the pop-up that you'll get that I was talking about here, where you'll have the options of choosing your call-in, and there's a drop-down to choose the different call-in options. And then here's the option to invite and remind. So if you click this little option to add people, here's where you have your different options, and here's where you can enter the email address, hit send to have them invited to the session quickly. I'll go ahead and end this session. Now I'd like to go ahead and jump into, I'd like to show you how to install. If you don't have your productivity tools or the new Webex app, we'll show you how to get those downloaded. So from the Meeting Center tab in your Webex site, you'll come down to Downloads, click on that, and here's where you have all your downloads for the different updates. So the productivity tools is not listed here anymore. Unless you have Google Calendar, you can add it there. But now there's the new Webex Meetings desktop app, and you can actually connect it to your Outlook from there once you have this downloaded. And it's really simple. You just click here, choose Windows or Mac, click download, and that'll go ahead and get that download started for you where you can get it added to your computer. All right, now we'll transition into Outlook, and we'll cover how to schedule and start meetings from Outlook. So here's Outlook, and what I like to do is come here to where I can schedule meetings. You'll notice at the top, you can actually do a quick Meet Now. So since we have our Meet Now settings where we'll go into our personal meeting room, if I click this option, it's going to open up a personal meeting room where I can just get started. We also have the ability to schedule a meeting from here. So if I choose schedule a meeting, I can schedule a regular session, or I can choose to schedule a session with my personal meeting room. If I click that, it'll open up the invitation. I can add my attendees here. I'm just going to tell them the subject is my personal room by default, but I have the ability to change that. If you are using a specific location or a meeting room, you can add that here. Update the date and time, and by choosing my personal meeting room, it has already entered all that information into the invite for me. So all I have to do is enter the information for who's joining and send that off. You also have the ability to add it from right within a calendar invite. So if I wanted to open up a calendar invite here, I can choose invite attendees, add that here. And I can also add my personal meeting room from clicking this drop down. So I can add the Webex information or add my personal meeting room. And it's going to do the same thing. It's going to put that information into the invite for you and allow you to quickly invite who you want and choose a time and date for that session. And just to show a quick Meet Now, we'll show you that if clicking this here, I already have a meeting running, so it's not going to allow me, but that would open up the window for you to quickly do a Meet Now session. And then if you would like to use the app, we'll go into the app and do a quick walkthrough of the new Webex Meetings app. So here's a view of the app here. When you first join in, you'll be on the home screen. You have your settings here at the top. So you click on settings, you have your preferences, help, about, check for updates, send problem report, and sign out. Within preferences, you can choose to always have your Cisco Webex Meetings desktop app on your desktop, on top of your desktop. And you can have it select where it starts when you start Windows. So turn your computer on or you're getting started, the app will pop up for you. You also have your account information. So if you ever need to see your Webex URL, you can see that. The email address that's attached is here as well. Your meeting calendar, you have the option if you go to meetings, you can select from having 1 day of meetings showing, 7 days, or 14, and we'll go into the calendar a little bit later and show you where that information is. Here's where you get to choose your integration. So I use Outlook, so I have my Outlook integration. Your Meet Now settings. So earlier we went through the site and went to Meet Now. You can do that here as well. So if you click that, it'll take you right to where we were with our Meet Now settings and allow you to choose your Meet Now settings from here. You also have your personal room address. So if you need to quickly copy that, you have that option, and your video system address here. Notifications, you can choose to get notifications for meetings 5, 10 to 15 minutes before a session, or you can turn it off if you want to toggle this option here. If you have a video device, you can auto detect, and there's a setting here saying you can turn it on or off. So if you have a personal device like a DX on your desktop, or if you go into a video conference room and it has a video device, you can auto detect that. And then you have your different plugins here. So this will show you what you can work with: Outlook, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, different browsers, and you can set those up here. Back to the meeting app. Here you have your meeting address, and it shows it there. And if you hover over this, you can copy that URL. Looks like I have a session in process still. In progress, but if it's not in progress, let me see if I can get that stopped. All right, so normally it would say start meeting, and that would be exactly the same as if you were doing the start meeting from your website or Meet Now in this option here, but you can click it from here, and that'll start a session immediately for you. If you want to join via meeting ID, you can click in the meeting ID here and select join. And then again, here's the personal meeting rooms of people that I've joined with recently. At the bottom here, the next tab will be your calendar option. And so since mine is set for 7 days, I can see 7 days of meetings. You also have the ability to join and start your sessions here. So at the time of the meeting, there will be a join option. Later in the day when I have these meetings, I can come here and select start. If you want to schedule a meeting from here, you can click on this tab here. It's going to open up a calendar invite, and it'll give you the same options you had before. So again, I use my personal meeting room as my standard for meetings. So it's got my personal meeting room information here. All I do is select the time and date, and I can go ahead and send that invitation off quickly. Lastly, here on this tab, we have our show calendar. So if you want to go to a specific day, you can open up that option and go to a specific day and look at your meetings for that specific day there. Final, on the meeting app, you have your proximity. So I don't have a video, any video equipment here, so it doesn't pick anything up. If it's not picking anything up, it'll give you tips to connect, or you can quickly go through the tips. And you can also go to our help page by clicking this. It'll take you to a help article where you can see some more tips on connecting to video devices. And that basically covers the app and how to join from the website, from your Outlook calendar, also from the new meeting app. And now I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint and go through some of the changes that we've seen. So one thing is leaving a session. So previously, when you're in your personal meeting room and you wanted to leave a session, you used to right-click on the attendee's name and choose the options from there. And now it's a little bit different. If you have the updated version, you'll have an X on the screen. You click that, you choose Leave Meeting, and you can choose the alternate host from there. So that's just one of the updates, so you'll see it a little bit differently as you get it. Just wanted to show you the differences there. It's changed from right-clicking on the attendee to clicking the X and leaving the session there. Another change is locking the session. So in the previous version, the lock was right next to your name on the Quick Start screen, and that has moved to the upper right-hand corner now. And so once you want to lock the session, you'll click on the key, you can lock the meeting, and that will not allow anyone else to join the personal meeting room, and they will go into your waiting area where you can allow or not allow based on what you want to do within that meeting. I'll give you a little view of what that looks like. So for your participants that are joining a session, when they click and your meeting room is locked, they'll get a pop-up that says you can join the meeting after the host admits you in. And so they'll wait there with that pop-up until you allow them to join in. And this is what it'll look like on your end. So you'll have a bar that shows up on your screen, and it'll show how many people are looking to get in, and you can allow them in by clicking on that and letting them into the room, and then they can join into your meeting. Or if there are participants that are in a meeting to follow, you can allow them to stay in the waiting room until you're done with your session, and then as your participants in your current session leave, you can allow them to join in. So that pretty much wraps up the meetings of what they'll look like. There also is an option from your phone. And so if you are joining in from a phone, let me go back to sharing my screen here. What you would do is dial into the phone number here that's available. You can choose your toll number or the toll-free option. Once you call into the number, you want to enter your access code for that session. And remember, this information will always be the same. And then that's when that host PIN that we spoke about earlier comes in. It's going to ask for your host PIN. So you want to dial that host PIN number to start the session. Once you've done that, then you can join into your sessions directly from the phone. You don't have to use the online. So if you're not by a computer or you're not anywhere where you have internet access, you can just join in via phone and start your sessions that way. All right. So moving on from there, that's the end of the demo there. So those are the options with your personal meeting room, joining from the website, joining from Outlook, joining from the new meeting app, locking sessions, leaving sessions, and starting directly from the phone. If you do have any, would like to join any sessions that are upcoming, we do have some sessions here for Cisco Webex meetings, Cisco Webex training, and Cisco Control Hub. I've joined in a few of those. There's some great presenters that will be joining, and they'll be coming up shortly. I do want to say thank you for joining with us today. I've enjoyed me kind of walking through the PMR and showing that to you. We do have a survey after this. If you would please complete the survey, we'd really appreciate it. If you'd like to register for Click classes in the future, you can go to this site here, cisco.com/go/quickclass. Or if you have questions, you can go to our Collaboration Help portal, and that's the link there at collaborationhelp.cisco.com. And that concludes the session for today. So thanks again, and I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
And thank you very much, Kevin. And I would like to thank you again for participating in today's webcast. And just a reminder that as you exit out of the Webex session, the short evaluation will appear in your browser. So please just take a moment to complete the evaluation and let us know how we did with today's program. And have a good day, everyone.